Let me pick up Sachin's call right here. So he's calling. We're going to get him onto the show. For those that don't know Sachin, he is a Palantir OG, one of my good friends as well. I know a lot of you guys do know him from the older days on Palantir Weekly. So let me give him a call, and we're going to get him onto the show. Hey, Sachin, can you hear me?
Yes, man. How are you doing?
I am doing very good. You are live on the Market Open. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us.
Pleasure, man. Tell me, man, what do you want to know?
I think let's start off. So people haven't heard from you in like a year. So people definitely want to get your thoughts and opinions on a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of goat emojis in the chat. So we definitely appreciate you, Sachin. I think we'll start off with this. You went all in on Palantir when it was $8. You really, held your money to your conviction. Stock's at 80. Just what are your thoughts on this journey, what it's been like, or stock's at 100 now? Do you think 100 is justified? Does it make sense that we're here right
now? And whether 100 is justified or not, I think it is market to decide, and market is justifying it. I think there are a few things people are missing, and this is what has led a lot of people to miss in general about Palantir. Is a lot of people are just stuck in this valuation lens. And people are saying valuation is high. When it was 25, people said valuation is high. When it was 40, they said high. It is 60 high. But I think the lesson here is, if valuation is high, then why it is getting higher?
Right.
Okay. And that is what people are missing in general, because they say, okay, if I support Palantir today, they say, oh, are you going to buy it here? I'm not going to buy it here. My risk reward is very different from buying it at $8 versus buying it at $100 today. I mean, it's an entirely different thing. Okay, people say, oh, in order to justify its valuation, it has to go to 30. Man, we saw Palantir going from 45 to $6. So can a stock crash 87, 90%? Of course, a stock can crash 87, 90%, but it will not crash entirely under its own gravity. The whole market has to collapse in order to support it. If Palantir goes from 100 to $30, broad market and peers will also drop 50 to 60 and 80%. Okay, so yeah, so when somebody say that a particular valuation is wrong, okay, you have to put the context right. If a valuation is wrong, that whole market will go up and Palantir will go down, then give us the logic. Okay, what's the logic is going to be? So Palantir is expensive. There is no doubt about it. There is no hiding from the fact. Whichever metric you look at, Palantir is performing better than any peers at this particular point. That is also true. Palantir is strategically positioned better than any other enterprise SaaS in the time of AI. That is also true. How market will judge it, it's up to market. I think the one thing which has pushed Palantir this high is that the institutional ownership in Palantir was very low.
Yeah.
And despite whatever anybody says, they say, oh, institutional money is smart money. Institutional money is not smart money. Institutional money is dumb money. Okay, once the certain criteria are met, all institutions go like headless chicken behind it, and that is what has happened. And everybody wants a piece of Palantir now, and that has created a lot of buying pressure on it. I mean, this is true. Institutional money is dumb money. I'll be honest with that.
Well, why are they? So people say retail is dumb, institutional are smart.
No. I think no. Actually, institutional, because when you talk about institution, you're talking about pension funds. See, first, they cannot buy on their own. They need to buy with a committee. They need to buy when certain analysts put it certain rating. When 25 analysts and 25 fund managers will tell them, hedge fund money is the smart money, actually. Okay, so a lot of time institutions are the last one in the line to buy, especially the one which are not actively trading. Okay, because they want every parameter to be tested, but by the time every parameter is tested, the stock is $80, $90.
Right.
Okay, and again, people who are buying an institution, they are under their fiduciary duty. They're not under the duty of creating return. Their duty is to meet the criteria of investment.
So Sachin, let me ask you this. There are people, I know you've seen this on FinTwit, and I'm sure there's people in the chat that say, all right, Sachin, we get it. You're bullish. We understand you're giving Palantir a premium. However, Palantir's valuation is more than McDonald's, American Express. It's the 50th largest company in the world. I mean, how do you respond to being able to say, I will still hold this stock knowing it is trading at levels that I don't think we've ever seen in this market before?
See, for me, it's very simple. I mean, if you have a position, it's a lot of gain. I mean, you can always hedge somewhat. Okay, you can send covered calls and all. I mean, of course, I'm not going to let all these gains go. Okay, that thing is very. The thing is, the logic which I'm not buying is they are saying because it is expensive, so there is no further gains left. You see, this is the same argument people made when it was 40.
Yep.
If you remember when Chris Camillo, bought at 36, people said you are late to the party.
Yep.
When it was 62, people said it is astronomically high. So the thing is, the logic people are getting, that market is proving that logic wrong. Okay, so let me explain something, and this is what people need to understand is, see, if you go back to 2020 and 2019, Tesla was astronomically high. Okay, everybody was shorting Tesla, like especially on the main street. I mean, all these Spiegel guy and Einhorn and all that. What happened with Tesla? Tesla keep going up. Did Tesla came down? Tesla came down later, but something else happened before that, and that is the sign we need to look. At some point, market got so much in FOMO because of Tesla that they were so desperately looking another Tesla. And at that particular time, companies like Nikola, Neo, Xpeng, Lucid, they came and they actually got valuation which were even crazier than Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay, and that pushed the market to a stratospherical level where everything was irrational. Okay, so there is a point that will come in Palantir journey where people will just say, okay, when I really don't know what is happening, but I need to buy something. And I cannot buy Palantir in good faith, I need to buy something. This will happen. This is human psychology. And then you see all these kind of tier 2, tier 3 stocks that we talk about, Snowflake, UiPath, Datadog. Some of these stocks will eventually getting valuations which are going to be even higher at one point. Okay, and when you will see that market still has not started discounting bad news. If you deliver bad news, market is punishing you. Okay, market is rewarding Palantir in an asymmetric way because they think, okay, whatever they are doing, they're doing it right, and they are well positioned to capture the AI upside from the enterprise. See, every company you talk about, if Microsoft is saying that we are going to invest 80 billion in capex, then somewhere Microsoft knows, like if I invest 80 billion here, then this 80 billion will result in 240, 280 billion in revenue somewhere. So somebody given them 280 billion in revenue as a whole, that means industry as a whole has to produce 5 to 6 trillion. Na?
Yeah.
So that 5 to 6 trillion is not only hyperscalers to money. It's the software so that is extracting out. So when you start stacking this, I think one thing people forget what Chris Camillo said, that Palantir only had like 50 customers when he came in. What will happen if Palantir has 5,000 customers?
Yeah.
Okay. Also see in terms of operating leverage, okay, this is what people are looking in general, that okay, that this company, if stars align, can be really big and it can actually sustain this valuation if the market forces stay favorable. Okay, now let's say that, so following things can happen. That Palantir at some point get a self-check, its performance is actually improving, its revenues are actually improving, it might go sideways, some decline, but eventually the performance catches up. What will be the ink will be on the faces of beer? Okay, I mean, you remember there was this guy, was the beer cave guy. I mean, Palantir was $15 and he came up with a short report. And I know actually the guy he talked to also, his name is NDG. He was a disgruntled employee from Palantir. He said something and based on that, he kind of worked out some report. When you are a short seller, $15, you say that short the company, the stock is 105. I mean, you have one job to identify bad performing company and you can't do it well. So see, as an investor, our job is not to justify Palantir or justify any other company. Our job is to understand how market works so that we can make money out of it.
What do you? Okay. So Dan Ives said yesterday he sees 1 trillion in 4 years. Is that a bit ridiculous, or do you think that's possible too?
See, what Dan Ives says and why Dan Ives says. Okay, so why Dan Ives says is is somewhat beyond me. Okay, he comes up with things, and the kind of things he says is they're playing games of 3D chess versus checkers. And at the end of the day, this is all BS. Okay, I mean, you can say tons of smart things. You need to explain things. Whether it is 1 trillion is possible, yes, 1 trillion is possible. The company is already 230 billion. So tomorrow, like we know already what is happening in Doge, Palantir software being used there.
Yeah.
So there, I mean, you need to understand what is happening on ground. When the Democrats, the USA, I mean, all these things are saying that how big the political shift is. You saw that how strongly Sham and his team has lobbied against the existing defense that we need to introduce AI more in defense in general. Do you think, I mean, like these are big things? If Trump decides that they are going to build or they are going to invest 100 billion in AI-driven weapon systems and all that, that means there is 3-4 billion for software. Which software? It's only hyperscalers and Palantir. There is no one else. There is no one else. There is no software on the street about which a CEO comes and says that we used Palantir and it created $1 billion value for us. There is no software.
Yeah, you're right.
I have seen it. I mean, I was there when I was leading data and digital strategy. I have talked to Palantir guys. I've talked to other people. There is no one. So
Sachin, let me ask you this. You've been following CARP as well for a long time. A lot of people have been critiquing. Yesterday, I read some reports that people were critiquing CARP's message to retail investors and him cursing and banging on the table. I mean, what is your interpretation of CARP as a leader over the past couple of years?
I think CARP has been... CARP is CARP, first thing. Okay, I mean, and I think Main Street and the corporate echelon, it's a club. They want everyone to behave like them. If you don't behave like us, you remember how Jim Cramer used to speak about CARP. Now CARP doesn't talk to him, and Jim Cramer keeps saying, "Please talk to me, please talk to me." So first thing is CARP is original. He doesn't care about optics. Okay, he's passionate. He realized that when they were in trenches, there was a retail community. So he doesn't love retail community like, okay, because they're buying their stuff. Let me be very clear on that one. He loves retail community because he realized that retail community has done a very good job in explaining what Palantir is.
I want to double down on this. You're saying he doesn't love retail because he's using them as liquidity because it can pump the stock. He loves retail because they actually studied the business when it was $6 when all the other analysts were studying Snowflake.
Yeah, that's the reality.
It is quite special. It is really quite special to see what they've been able to do. Go ahead.
They were in a position where everybody was going against them. Democrats was against them. Open Society and all these guardians were pumping articles against them. And I mean, so much bad blood. You were talking about analysts. Do you remember what analysts used to say? Oh, I mean, we will prefer Snowflake over it. I mean, why would you prefer Snowflake? Snowflake is a different product. Palantir is a different product. You don't know about the product. I mean, I tell you, there are very smart people I follow, and they literally had no clue. I mean, yesterday I was having this tweet conversation with Brian. I mean, I remember like I was watching the video of Brian, and Brian was saying he doesn't want to buy Palantir. He wants to buy some other software which provides a SaaS product to the prison system. I said, man, this is whole different things we are talking. He said, you want defense exposure, you buy the software. I said, no, this is not. That tells me that people fail to understand what the product is. See, as a Fentoid, I know that a lot of people are disgruntled about it, that they miss Palantir and they are saying, they keep saying, see, you can say 20 times a day that valuation is astronomical. So what? Okay, in consulting, like this is one of the most important questions that, so what? I mean, if it is high, the question is you need to go back and understand why it is high.
So
it goes from here.
Do you think Palantir. So I see the similarity coming up as well, and this will be the last question on Palantir. Then we'll move on. Do you think Tesla 2021, when it pumped to 400 and then came all the way back to 100, do you think there's a chance Palantir is in that stage where it's just being overhyped to that level, or do you think the street missed the story, and even if it goes back to 60, they're just going to be happy to get back into the story?
Actually, Tesla is not the right analogy for Palantir. I'll give you the right analogy for Palantir. The right analogy for Palantir is the Netscape movement. When Netscape came and they were the first browser, and suddenly the rise of Netscape was, I mean, people who have lived through 94, 96 and people can go back. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, companies like Microsoft and companies like Apple, they didn't see it coming. The only problem in the Netscape was that the barriers of entry was low. At the end of the day, replicating the product was simple. So if you ask me, like, what is the movement that Palantir is having? Palantir is having a Netscape movement, but with a product that has an entry barriers as high as Windows, and that's their strength.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. AMD, you've been bullish on the name for a little bit. Stock's down 10%. Are you holding, buying? What are you thinking about this one?
Okay, so let me break it down in 5 simple sentences. See, the whole bull case of AMD is driven by the fact that there is a chip bull market, which is Nvidia has actually captured. So there will be eventually other companies. That's a top-down thesis on a bullet point 1 for AMD. And since AMD has done far better in catching up Intel, and there is no company, like when you talk about Nvidia, it doesn't matter how far AMD is the distant second. So that's the bull case. Also, before the AI chip euphoria started, there was a time between 21 and 22 where more and more data centers were asking AMD instances. So there was a bit of traction up there. So that is part 1. The second part is, there is market, there is TAM. Can AMD catch it? And that is where the issues are emerging. Okay. By her own words, Lisa Su said that the data center AI market is 60 billion in 2023. It will have a CAGR of 60%, and it will be 500 billion by 2020. These are her words, not mine. Which means, that means every quarter the market is expanding by 12.5%. Okay, now this is market. If you are expanding less than 12.5%, that means you are losing market share. AMD grew 9% quarter on quarter. Okay, where the market, if you see that particular market up in last quarter, I mean, it was nearly 60 to 70%. So first thing is that, okay, are their revenue increasing? You always have to see things in context. Yes, their revenue increased. Yes, their EPS increased. But relative to what? Okay, if you are moving ahead with this space, I'm sorry, I mean, you will not be able to. Yes, your revenue will increase. Okay, yes, your AI revenue is increasing. AI revenue margins are good. You are cannibalizing other parts of business, which is pretty evident at this particular point. But you are trying to capture a valuation based on like Nvidia-esque kind of a valuation. I'm sorry, that is not going to happen. AMD has already been in this race for nearly 3 years now. Okay. They have not captured it. Okay, they are doing far better compared to Intel. I mean, they are going pretty good on x86 also. They are doing pretty good on the CPU part of data center actually very well. If I'm correct, their data center revenue has exceeded or almost equal to Intel now. Okay. But I mean, the valuation they are asking from market is not Intel kind of valuation. They are asking valuation based on Nvidia's multiple,
right?
And they are second behind Nvidia, but they are so distant that it's almost useless.
So are you buying the dip?
No, I'm not buying the dip. I mean, I have the shares which I bought, and my plan is that I'll start selling aggressive covered calls until my stocks are called away. End of story.
So you don't really. I mean, you bought it because you thought there was some potential, but right now you're seeing execution not be stellar.
I bought it because if you go back and you check their last 2 quarters, I mean, you can check it on visual stack or bar chart, whichever one you like. The increase and the uptick in the AI revenue, but that uptick is slowed this quarter. Okay, so AMD is not executing as they have said. I mean, they are not executing. So do you remember this? There was this last day. I'm actually really surprised why she was the CEO of the year last year.
Yeah, I was a little confused on that one. It was a bit weird.
Okay. So I think they did. I mean, AMD has done exceptionally well when in their fight with Intel. I mean, I remember like in 2006, I was about to buy this PC and I wanted to cut down some cost, and they said AMD. I said, man, I want a cheap PC, but I will not touch AMD. That was the kind of image AMD had those days. So AMD has done exceptionally well compared to Intel, which has been a horrible company over this time. But what people are asking, people like me are looking for, AMD, that can AMD get some pixie dust from Nvidia growth? The market is expanding very fast. Okay. If market is asking you more, I mean, market is going 12-13% per quarter, and you are not able to grow. You are growing barely by 9%.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you don't do any marketing, that should happen by its own.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Okay. So see, that's why, like, I look numbers and numbers up, and this is where again, like, there's a disconnect between a number and a strategy. You look number, but you also have to see that story is consistent between the strategy and the numbers. And in an AMD case, it is not anymore. Numbers are good, but they are not in line with the story they are trying to sell on the street, period.
Okay, let's get into a name that I talked to you a month ago about, and you helped me get my conviction on the name, and both of us are pretty excited about this one. Grab. Just in general, what is your bull case on this? Why are you heavily positioned on this one?
So, see, like you were discussing also yesterday, in order to have that kind of company in ASEAN, you need to be connected with the right family members. You need to be connected with the right people. You just know not anybody can. Okay, they have managed to fought away Uber here, and they are the only company that are omnipresent in all ASEAN country almost. Okay. They're better than a lot of companies in terms of services. They are expanding their product in general. More important, they have managed to cut down their cost a lot while keeping their revenues increasing. And if I'm right, because I use their product and I see how much they charge and all that, I think they are going to deliver a big surprise. I pay a lot of money to Grab, and I see that my expenditure on them is increasing. And I ask people in my circle also, like, what's your experience? Do you think their ride hailing is expensive? I'll tell you, like, if I go from my hometown to Twin Tower, I pay 3 times what I used to pay 2 years back on Grab. So if they're charging this much, I mean, and they manage to keep their costs down, which means that in this earning, I'm really looking forward to validate that this earning has to be really blockbuster for them.
Yeah.
And more important, like, see, for example, say, Amit, you want to come in Southeast Asia. You want an established player there. Okay. I mean, they have a fintech, they have a banking license in a couple of countries.
Are you excited about the financial services? Is that a bigger bull case for you as well?
It is. I mean, it's a part of everything that people use it. Okay. See, overall, I think at the end of the day, their charges are up. People are still paying those high charges. They manage to cost down. That means their margins and their profit has to increase. Okay. Whenever there is a company which turns from negative income to positive income, and they give guidance, I'll tell you right now that if they come in this earning and this earning is positive, and that they say that by the end of the year we are going to be gap positive, or they can give some kind of aggressive timeline, I'll tell you this stock is going to be $8 to $9 even before this quarter is up.
Wow.
But they have to do that. in order to see that.
What do you think about the potential merger news yesterday? Do you think it's fake or real that they would buy out Gojek?
To be honest, I don't know whether it's fake or real. I mean, there is always discussions around it. I know the some of the troubles Gojek is having, and Gojek is in ride hailing, but as much I remember, Gojek is more in two-wheeler ride hailing. When I used to, I mean, I travel to Indonesia for my work few times. I used to travel a lot. Okay. But Gojek, I remember, was more on. So there is a ride hailing. Like if I go to Indonesia, I'll be using Grab. If I go to Thailand, I'll be using Grab. If I go to Singapore, I'll be using Grab.
Right.
Okay. So for me, like when I travel or anybody, like in my profession or anybody, their preferred is Grab. Because it's easier for us. We come back, we download our bill for a couple of months. We say, okay, all these rights we have done. It was on this case project. So it's all very simple for us.
And I'm assuming you like the 30% cash that it's trading at right now, as well as a buffer.
Man, I mean, if company has positive free cash flow, cash in bank, cost is decreasing. I mean, what else do you want?
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, last two questions for you, Sachin. Before I ask that, for everyone who is not following Sachin on X, please make sure to follow him here. He has amazing investing insights every single day. And you can get some of those updates right here with the link in the chat. Quickly on SoFi, and then I want to end out with Nvidia. So SoFi, you went heavy when it was $6. SoFi's at 15. I'm sure you're happy about that. Do you think there's an issue with management not getting people excited about the stock? And do you think it can hit 25-30 by the end of the year?
See, I think in order to see that, you need to think from a Noto point of view. See, if Noto goes very aggressive, see, the only reason the stock is down from 18 to 15 is, and this is according to SoFi Bulls, don't take my word for it, because they say Noto was not aggressive in the guidance and they are backpacking and sandbagging and all those kind of things. See, now think from a CEO point of view. If a CEO has to deliver stock growth not for next quarter, but for next 15 quarters.
Right.
So they have to pace it down. Okay. They also have to ensure that, the growth is backed by numbers. Like for example, whatever growth we had in last 3-4 months, it was already justified by the numbers before that. So there were a lot of numbers. There were some doubts which got cleared over the time. Then suddenly the stock went from $6 to $18. Okay. From $6 to $18, this is only the second earning we had. Practically, this is the only earning because last earning was on October and most of the move happened actually after that. Okay. So, and people, if you go on YouTube, people are already calling SoFi to go to 25, 35, 45. Yeah, it will eventually go there, but let's give it some time. Okay, there is a divergence in SoFi performance from some of the peers, so stocks generally tend to pull down. Moto is never going to give an aggressive guidance. We have already seen it. Okay, people say, we have seen that SoFi does better than the guidance, but Noto has not given aggressive guidance. Noto has given aggressive strategic pivot points, but he doesn't give a strategic guidance. This is how it is. He's in a business of managing loan, turning a company into profitable business. I mean, he's aggressive in approach, but he is conservative in speaking. We all know that about Noto. Okay, so eventually what will happen? This is how I see SoFi. Okay, I tend to see that SoFi is likely to do better in Q3 and Q4 in numbers. This is where they push more. And eventually, most of the gains that SoFi will happen from company point of view, not from market point of view. Okay, if market starts moving, stocks also move. So I'm just trying to see the company vector here. To me, will happen in Q3, Q4. This is the same thing. I mean, see, if you go last year, the Q1 earning was very good. The Q4 2023 earning was very good.
Yeah.
But stock didn't go anywhere. Actually, stock came back. When the earning came for Q2, it was also very good. The stock still didn't go anywhere. So but the moment stock goes into this kind of validation phase, okay, and this is what, in my view, is likely to happen, and I could be wrong because, I mean, the stock, I say today it's not going anywhere, and then suddenly it goes to 20. But my view is that we are going to stay in this range of 13 to 20 until July, August. And if it stays in that range, I think then it will set up. When you have like 2 or 3 aggressive earning marginal improvement guidance, then it will again set up for a short like whatever happened in 3-4 months. That's my view. Okay, but this also has to happen in sync with market, which means that market has to be in the same tone also. If market goes negative, see these kind of companies like Palantir and SoFi, they have made a lot of divergent gains, which means that if market for some reason goes into a fiscal tightening situation or negative sentiment or in some sort of recessionary fear, these stocks have a larger exposure because currently they have been priced like there is nothing wrong can happen with these companies.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, just for timing, I'm actually very happy with SoFi position. I mean, like stock performance, 15 is not bad.
Not at all. Not
okay.
at all.
The stock was $6 in August 5. Actually, in pre-market it was $5.73.
The fact that you have that exact price in your head means you've been in this name pretty heavy, it seems.
I'll tell you exactly. I was telling this to my wife. I showed this to my wife, this image, and she asked me like all the analysis and everything. I said, this image, what I'm having, I spent over 500 days. Okay, every day I was spending 3 to 4 hours validating all the things I'm looking in, all the YouTubers I follow, all the analysis, everything. I said I spent over 8,000 hours. I said that's so. I mean, did I make a 7-figure on that? But I said people don't realize that in order to have that 7-figure thing, I mean, I spent crazy amount of time, and I know that people cannot spend that kind of crazy amount of time on companies the way I do it, and whatever orthodox and unorthodox technique I have, reaching people, asking my network, looking different product. I said, this is why I have conviction and this is why I take large position. This is exactly what I did with Palantir. I knew I can spend 4 hours looking or 6 hours looking at every day. And yeah, I mean, then I stuck with the positions and eventually, so yes, I mean, the gain happened in 3 months, but that 3 months had almost 15 months of work behind it.
So when you were spending those 8,000 hours, did your wife think you were going crazy, or like what was going on during that time?
I mean, she supported me. I always try to explain her the logic and everything. Actually, see, my wife always supports me in whatever investing I go in. Okay, because she has seen my lows and she has seen my highs. So, I mean, I think that part I'm actually very lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have to think about that if I lose a large chunk of money, how my personal life will be. That part I'm not worried.
Right. Okay, that's awesome. Last question for you, Sachin. Again, thank you for taking time out of your day all across the world for staying up and doing this with us. Nvidia down 20% because of DeepSeek. The questions here are, is this an existential threat to the AI trade? And number 2, would you be buying Nvidia here?
It is not an existential threat for AI trade, but people need to understand what will happen. See the promise, so when you see XAI was formed, okay, you see what Elon did. Elon went very aggressive, bought a lot of H100. I mean, he put this team together, all the coolant, a gas power plant, and get it running. So it gave everybody an idea that if you want to catch up Perplexity, you need a Elon kind of thing, which nobody can do. Almost it was unheard of. That means a lot of people like you or me, say if we decide we want to do an answer to Perplexity, we said it's not possible. So a lot of people in Silicon Valley, they don't have that kind of cash, they don't have that kind of resources. So they got the message, don't dream like that. But when DeepSeek happened, okay, then people say, why God, they managed to do it without this? They managed to do it, okay, they might have used more money and all that, but they managed to do it.
Yeah.
So that gave a message to a lot of people in Silicon Valley, even VCs, that, yeah, you are behind OpenAI in Perplexity, but if you like, you can actually do things. So it will be more like, so it will create more seats in Silicon Valley than China. There will be more people in Silicon Valley who will think that why don't we work out our own LLM? Okay. Which initially they were not thinking before the DeepSeek movement. So DeepSeek is a fork in time but more for Silicon Valley than actually. See, the fact is, world is never going to trust an LLM coming from China, at least the Western world, or countries which are adversarial in terms of to China, at least in terms of political hegemony in general. There are a lot of people will go and use. I mean, I live in Malaysia. There are people who use Alibaba Cloud.
Right.
Okay, it's cost effective, it's smart, so they don't care about, I mean, a lot of other things which you will worry about in a Western country. So yes, I mean, the market is huge, but the message is not this clear that world will use Chinese AI or not. The message is you can do a very high quality LLM with a very unique approach with almost negligible resources than what Elon has done.
Would you?
And that is a message that people have to take in.
Would you buy Nvidia at 122?
I will not buy Nvidia at 122 because, see, like I said, that I do not have a perfect method of investing. I mean, you look strategy, you look technicals, you look fundamentals. Okay, and in technicals, there's something called a stage analysis. Stage analysis is what you call like stock at a stage 1, a stage 2, stage 3, or stage 4. So Nvidia has a very classic look of a stage 3 stock. That is, it is going to consolidate in this range ideally for a while.
Right.
Okay, whether it's going to break down, whether it's going to break up, actually, I have no clue. So when you look from risk reward point of view, I mean, this is one of the reasons I was investing in AMD, because I said that at the end of the day, people still need a lot of chips, and cheap chips will have a market. But AMD has fucked it up in a very grandiose way, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and it tends to happen. Sometimes you think there's a breakout to the upside, but there tends to be a breakout to the downside. Sachin, thank you so much for joining. We have some people in the chat just asking, what are your top positions right now? If you could tell us in your portfolio, and then we'll be done for today.
I mean, the positions we discussed, apart from that, I mean, I'm in and out of GitLab for a while. I buy sometimes. I mean, AMD is definitely there. I actually have created quite a significant position in this company called UiPath. It's a very risky position for me, but I mean, like, my investing intuition is saying that, yeah, I think there's something going to happen in this company. I mean, I listened their CEO for over 40 hours in last 15 days. Everything he has said over the time, what he's trying to achieve, how he's trying to achieve, his logic. Actually, his logic for AI agent is far sharper than Mark Benioff. Actually, Mark Benioff is all over the place. He has I mean, to me, look like Mark Benioff got more scared and realized they need to do it, and he is speaking ahead than what they are doing. But this guy, like Daniel Dines, when I listen him on agentic AI, and he has made it very clear. I always like this kind of CEO who can take tough decisions. He said, okay, we were an RPA company. There will be a time for foreseeable future, then there will be going to be an RPA revenue. But guys, RPA is not our future. Our future is agentic AI. He made it very clear. People who know what not to do are the kind of CEOs I like.
Right.
So I have built up quite a sizable position in this company over the time. And during this time, like, also, like, I wrote this article, like the comeback kit. So this is one of the comeback kits I'm looking. And my favorite way of making my position in these companies is following. So generally what I do is I use half of my money to buy stocks. I use half of my money to buy way out of money leaps. Okay. Then ideally I would like stocks to make a move. And when the stocks make move, like, for example, if this stock goes to 20 and all that, at that point, I will liquidate my stock position, because by that time, the capital of stock and Leaps has already paid it. So the trade becomes free for me. Okay. And yeah, so that's pretty much. I have also built up sleep position in the Snowflake as well. Okay. And yeah, because like I said, I mean, like, I also, like I was saying, why Palantir would crash? Before Palantir has to crash, the other tier 2, tier 3 companies has to get near to Palantir's multiples. So who are these 2 tier 2, tier 3 companies as per market? So these companies also, like, technically Snowflake is building up. I mean, it has to go to 190 or 95 level, because then it will be above its 200 weekly moving average, and it will be above its 50 monthly average also. Technically, that's a very strong sign. Okay, the moment the stock goes in that kind of, and if the earning comes good, I mean, we are looking 240 to 60 before April.
Are you taking some profits on Palantir here?
Yes, I'll be taking quite a sizable profits.
Okay. And then final question for you, because I got to ask this. Tesla, just generally, any thoughts on that name?
I mean, Tesla is a real strangle position because it can, depending on what happens in Trump administration, I mean, Tesla can be very successful and Tesla can have a very strong fallback also. I mean, it has gotten. I'm not very concerned about the people or Democrats going against Tesla. I mean, like when Tesla was EV company, Republicans used to be against Tesla.
Yeah,
Tesla still survived. So that is, and at the end of the day, a lot of people vote from their pocket. They say it's a good car, it makes sense, and I mean, and to be honest, other EVs have done pretty badly. Okay, the only other good EVs in market actually are Chinese EV, which are not allowed to be sold. China has some really good EV, I can tell you, man. I see them on Malaysian roads, and I'm like, I mean, Europeans are going to be fucked in a grand way. I mean, Chinese are coming up with some really good cars. So, I mean, Tesla. So that is the thing. Like now, again, Tesla is. So Tesla in AI, Tesla is a very unique position because on one hand, he has said that the cyber taxi is coming. Tesla has a very good vision AI product. Okay. Now, if you are looking from Elon Musk's point of view, Elon Musk has to. So he has an XAI, which is an AI product, which is kind of linked with Twitter also. So it is putting Twitter valuation also. Okay. Now, if for some reason, if you can link the XAI with Tesla also. Okay. I mean, you are looking for kind of like an ecosystem approach coming up one way or other way. I'll not be surprised that if that's the direction he wants to take in terms of software delivery moving forward. But it's a huge position, and then of course you have all the Optimus think that I mean that's a wild option if it comes true. And again, these people are missing on this point is like same thing going from ML neural net to Gen AI. So going from robotic arms to general purpose robot, it's a huge step.
Yeah, massive.
It's not that simple. So and there is enough appetite, and as long as the smart people and the smart money is chasing it, there will be something coming out of it. So if you are looking at a company doing that kind of productivity, also, I mean, like think from strategic point of view. US wants to bring manufacturing back. Manufacturing in US is expensive. People, I only work 8 hours. You cannot force people to work like 9 to 9 or 6 in the morning till 9 in the night, 7 days a week, as we call about the slave labors in a lot of countries. I will not take the name. How can you do that in US? You cannot do it, but robots can do it.
Yeah, robots aren't going to care.
People, I mean, see, a lot of people in investment banking, a lot of people do is a repetitive kind of work. And when you talk about repetitive kind of work, I mean, having an agentic AI or having a kind of a robotic presence, somebody can do it 24/7. And more important, like if a person is replaced, there is no handover. I mean, and you want to increase the person. And if it's a general purpose, you can send it for other people also. Okay, it's not like a car factory robotic arms that it is designed to do only one thing. If this happens, I mean, and the job loss that comes with that is also going to be huge. Okay, right. So in order to have Trump or the Republican agenda, not the mainstream Republican, but whatever the Republican Party as of today is, the robotics and the AI has to succeed. If robotics and AI doesn't succeed, their agenda doesn't succeed, and they know it very well. How can you bring manufacturing back in US? There are no people. There is no expertise left. Okay, I mean, you saw what happened with the California highway. I mean, like fast. I mean, they cannot build a fast past bullet train in California. It's a land of Silicon Valley. There is no expertise for major capital projects. That's the reality. So you need. It's a bit wild option. So I mean, to me, like Tesla is quite a wild. And I'm not going because I have a lot of exposure to SpaceX. And last year was actually
you're up like 5-6x on that, right? That one's done great for you.
Almost 10x. So I mean,
wow.
but last year was pretty bad for me in a way because I lost a lot of money. The company I was using, PE company, they went bankrupt. There was a lot of some embezzlement and all that. There was a bankruptcy case. Luckily, the Klarna and SpaceX position was in a well-protected SPV.
You lived the whole movie last year. Embezzlement, bankruptcies.
They were managed to able to move to another investment. There were a lot of positions I had which were under the nominee position. They all went under wire. I mean, like lost tons of money on that part. I mean, serious amount of money. So, but yeah, I mean, it happened. It's a lesson for me that luckily by the half of couple of friends, I mean, the kind of contracts I signed for SpaceX and Klarna was better protected. So I still have those positions, but I lost a lot of positions.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. But luckily, I mean, then Palantir happened and SoFi happened. It is what it is, man.
Sachin, thank you so much. His Twitter is in the description. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your night to talk with us. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you, Sachin.
Thanks, man. Keep up the good work, man. I'll see you.
See you. Appreciate it. Bye.
See you. Bye.
All right, there we go. Got a lot of good thoughts on SoFi, Palantir, AMD. As you can see, Sachin thinks Grab could get like $8 this year. I feel like I'm a bit more conservative saying $10 by 2027, but he tends to have pretty high conviction when he goes in on a name. I mean, as you can see what he said, he spent 10,000 hours studying SoFi. And then in the last 3 months of those 10,000 hours that he spent, you get the move from 6 to 15. So sometimes it just takes a lot of time, a lot of conviction, and a lot of belief and trust in your strategy. But it ends up working out. Got a 7-figure profit just from that.